Are you wondering if you're eligible for a stimulus payment? Stick with me, that's what we're going to talk about here today. Hi, my name is Jim Hart. I'm the founding attorney here at Hawthorne Law, where we help online businesses to get their legal house in order so that you can focus on what you do best, and that is building a business that truly matters in the world. Today, I'm going to be answering all your questions about the stimulus checks, stimulus payments, are you eligible, how to get paid, all those things in today's video. Let's do it. All right, question number one is, are you eligible for a payment at all? Now, basically, if you're a single filer and you make up to $75,000 per year, or you're a joint filer and you make up to $150,000 per year, then you're going to be eligible for a full payment of $1,200 per individual. So for single, that's $1,200. If you're joint, that's $2,400. Also, if you fall in those categories and you have a dependent child who is under the age of 17, you will receive $500 per child as well. If your income exceeds $75,000 or $150,000, then the amount of the stimulus that you are entitled to receive will be reduced by $5 for every $100 that you exceed that amount until you hit $99,000 or $198,000, in which case the stimulus payment goes away entirely. So if you're a single filer who makes more than $99,000 a year, or a joint filer who makes more than $198,000 per year and you have no children, you're not going to be eligible for a stimulus payment. You can stop watching right now. Sorry. All right, question number two. You've already filed your 2018 or 2019 tax return. What do you do? Well, the IRS is going to start with your 2019 tax returns, and then they're going to go look at your 2018 tax returns to see if you're eligible for a stimulus payment according to the criteria I just said just a second ago. If your returns have been filed, you're eligible, and you've included your bank account information on the return, then you will receive a stimulus payment. Those payments are scheduled to start going out this week, and there's nothing else you need to do. Next question, how is the IRS going to know where to send my payment? Well, again, if you've already filed your tax returns and you included your bank account information on the return, then the IRS is going to know where to direct deposit your payments. If you haven't filed your 2019 tax returns yet, then the IRS is going to go to your 2018 tax return to calculate the amount of payment that you're owed. The stimulus payment that you're owed will be direct deposited into the bank account that's included on your tax return. Now, interesting thought here. If your 2018 tax return would make you ineligible for a payment, but your 2019 tax return would make you eligible for a payment, then you probably want to make sure you file that 2019 tax return as soon as possible, because that's what the IRS is going to go off of first to determine whether or not you're eligible for that stimulus payment. That's a pro tip. I won't charge you for that one. What if the IRS does not have your direct deposit information? What do you do? According to the Department of the Treasury, the IRS is working on a portal, and you can actually kind of see the outline of it on the website if you go look. And it's a web-based portal that individuals can provide their banking account information online so that they can be included in one of the waves of payments that are going to be made via direct deposit. What about those of you out there that are not required to file a tax return for whatever reason? Can you still receive a payment? And the answer to that is yes, but with a caveat. And here, this is a direct quote from the IRS. The IRS will use information on Form SSA 1099 or Form RRB 1099 to generate economic impact payments to recipients of benefits reflected in the forms that I just said, who are not required to file a tax return and did not file a return for 2018 or 2019. So this is typically going to apply to Social Security recipients or railroad retiree recipients. Although you do not need to do anything if you fall into those groups of people, if you have dependents, in other words, if you have somebody that you could claim as a dependent who is under the age of 17 that would entitle you to that $500 additional payment per child, then the IRS is not going to have that information. So I do recommend that you go ahead and file a 2018 or 2019 tax return ASAP, even if you're not required to, because you are a Social Security recipient, to make sure that they have your direct deposit information and that they can calculate the proper amount of payment that you're owed. What about those of you who have a tax obligation from 2018 or will have a tax obligation for 2019 and you haven't filed your tax return? Are you still going to be able to get a payment under the economic stimulus plan? The short answer is yes, you will still get a payment under the stimulus plan, because these payments are actually credits towards your 2020 taxes. I talked about that in a prior video, how exactly those are qualified, but yes, you will still get a stimulus check. You just have to make sure you file your return and you include your banking information on it. What about those of you who want to go ahead and file your tax return, but you don't feel comfortable doing it online, and you normally go to somebody for help with this, but you can't do that now because of everything everything that's going on with the coronavirus. How long are these checks going to be available? If you are concerned about going to visit with your tax professional or with a community organization that's going to help you with your taxes, the payments are going to be available until the end of 2020, so December 31st, 2020. So there's plenty of time to go and visit with somebody in person and get your tax return done this year so that you can still qualify for your payments. But your payments are going to be delayed until you do file your taxes. All right, what about those of you who filed your tax return but you did not include your bank account information? The Department of Treasury is going to have a portal called Get My Payment. It's going to be active by April 17th, and here's the thing you need to know. You can provide your direct deposit information, you can check your payment status, you can confirm your payment type, either direct deposit or physical check, and you can enter your bank account information for direct deposit if they don't already have that information. There's a link that I'm going to include down in the description below to the update page on that, but that link for that portal is supposed to go live per the Treasury by April 17th. We'll see if that happens or not. The non-filers of you out there, what do you do? Okay, there is a special portal that you can go to, but you should only use that under certain circumstances. And here are the people that should use this portal. Number one, you did not file a 2018 or 2019 tax return because your gross income was under $12,200 if you're filing single, or $24,400 if you're filing joint. This includes obviously people that had zero income. Or you weren't required to file a tax return in 2018 or 2019 for some other reason. You should not use this portal if you receive Social Security retirement, Social Security disability, or survivor benefits, railroad retirement, and survivor benefits, because the IRS already has your information. However, and there is a special caveat here, people in those groups who have qualifying children under the age of 17 still should use this application to claim the $500 payment per child. There is an extensive frequently asked question page from the IRS that talks about all these issues. I will include a link to that as well down below. What if you don't have a bank account to receive direct deposit? It's a legitimate question. Some people can't get bank accounts for whatever reason, or they don't want to get bank accounts for whatever reason. If you don't have a bank account just because, well then I would suggest going and opening one up online and using that information. If you have no intention of getting a bank account, then the IRS is going to just go ahead and mail you a check. And again, those checks are going to go out beginning on May 4th to the address that you listed on your 2018 or 2019 tax return. If the address is wrong, go back and check your return if you filed it. If your address is wrong, you want to make sure that you file a change of address form with the IRS and mail that in so that they have the correct address for you when they send your payment. Because the last thing you want is the payment going to the wrong address, right? There's a link, believe it or not, down in the description below to a form that you can use to file a change of address with the IRS. You'll have to print it off, fill it out, mail it in, but that should be able to update the IRS with your new address information. So if you want to know more information about how to get your stimulus check fast, video right here, check it out. We'll see you in the next video.